Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of My Name is Dad, and we are back with another week of college football and NFL. But quickly, let's talk about the sponsor, Point B Grading and Turfcraft Maintenance, LLC. I'm a landscape contractor. I work in the Phoenix area. I specialize in laser grading and grading. Like, I just finished this guy's yard. He has like $1 million house in Scottsdale, and he bought a house in Scottsdale, tore down the old house, built $1 million house, pool, all this stuff, and I had to completely regrade his yard because I needed retentions and stuff and all that thing. So I do a lot of grading, do a lot of sports fields. Look us up, pointbgrading.com and pointbgrading@gmail.com. All right, we are back for college football week 4 already, yes, and NFL week 3. And my guest who is in studio today, Mr. Brody Benson, coming off a big win in his freshman football game. Say hi, Brody.
Hello.
There he is, a man of many words right there. All right, well, let's talk college football. Let's recap week 3 real quick. I always think of week 3 is kind of like the endish part of non-conference games. Now we really start getting into those. I know the Big 12, the Pac-12 used to. SEC kind of started last week, but it kind of seems like everybody's getting into, especially the Big 10 will definitely start conference games. So week 4 starts conference games, all that stuff. But the one thing I was thinking is that at this point now, a lot of that preseason top 25 is not the same. It's not the same now that when it was when we started. So now a lot of these teams that were ranked in the top 25 are not very good.
A lot of them are.
Yeah, like Florida.
Florida's terrible.
Clemson.
But Clemson's so good.
Clemson's not good.
Yeah, well,
okay. They're 1 and 2, bro.
They played a good Georgia Tech team at home, and they played a good LSU team.
Clemson's not good. Now, if you're going for a national championship, you don't lose games like that. Kansas State
is terrible.
They were ranked top 25, huh? They were 11 or 16 or something going into the season.
ASU's not as good as they were.
ASU's not as good as they were predicting. And the other one, too, is maybe might be the team that is as good, but they just had a really tough schedule, is Notre Dame. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking. They might be still a good team, but they just had some bad luck. They lost close games. They, sometimes those are games they would have won last year.
South Carolina is not as good. They're not ranked top 25 anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Texas hasn't looked good, but they're still ranked.
Yeah. All right. So, and we've already had a couple coaches fired.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Deshaun Foster, the head coach of UCLA, they're 0-3. They lost to New Mexico. They are a terrible team, and that quarterback from Tennessee transferred to UCLA, and they can't win a game if their life depended on it. And then the Virginia Tech coach, Brent Pry, he was also fired. And these are 2 big programs. This is a big-time ACC program. Virginia Tech, when I was in high school, during the Michael Vick era, I mean, they were playing for national championships. I mean, they were the only team better than them in their conference was, Florida State and maybe Miami. And they were playing for national championships every year.
Yeah.
So they were the big 3 of the ACC back in the day. Virginia Tech has dropped off. And then UCLA, they always, every once in a while, they would have a good year.
Yeah.
They would get a good running back and a good quarterback. I remember when Maurice Jones-Drew was there, they were pretty good. They Cade McNown was a quarterback. So every once in a while, UCLA was pretty good, but they're in the LA market, so they're always going to be a big a big team. At least on for TV purposes and stuff. So both of those are very good jobs. I'm sure a lot of the coaches in the mid majors or the non-Power 4 conferences are going to be taking an eye.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yep. All right. Let's move on to week 4. And week 4, we're definitely starting to get some better matchups here. I noted a couple here. We got Auburn at Oklahoma. I think that's the both top 25 ranked teams. Yeah. Michigan at Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And again, Michigan might not be as good, but Nebraska, I think, is 3-0. So they're playing pretty well. We got Illinois at Indiana, another top 25 matchup there. And then our Texas Tech Red Raiders at Utah, another top 25 matchup.
Yes.
Any thoughts on those games, Brody? Or any games that I left up that you're really looking forward to in week 4?
I think they're all going to be good games, but the only other game is college game day is going to be at Florida, Miami. I don't think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a big game because Florida.
It's a big rivalry game.
It's a rivalry game, but it's not like So I just think that I think every big game this week is going to be close, except for Michigan, Nebraska. I don't think that's going to be close. But I'm not going to tell you which team is going to.
Oh, really?
Is going to blow the other team out.
All right, we also have some good rivalry games this week. We're going to have probably more and more rivalry games.
Oh, wait. And ASU Baylor is kind of a big game, too.
Yeah, well, it's a big game for ASU for sure.
Yeah.
And again, if Baylor wants to kind of make a run at the Big 12, they need to win this game. Yeah,
both teams already have a loss, too.
Yeah, and if ASU wants to salvage their season, they need to beat Baylor. So, yeah, that's an important game, too. I didn't leave that one off. But some rivalry games this week. The before-mentioned Illinois at Indiana. There's no name to this rivalry. It's just, just a rivalry game. We have SMU at TCU, which is the battle for the Iron Skillet.
Battle of Dallas. Fort Worth.
Yeah. So these guys are super close. SMU is based in Dallas. TCU is based in Fort Worth, which it's like Phoenix and Scottsdale.
Yeah, it's like the same city, basically.
Yeah, they share the same airport and all that stuff. And they're both private Christian schools, I believe.
They are?
Yeah. Southern Methodist University and Texas Christian University. And they're playing for an Iron Skillet. That's what they play for.
Iron Skillet.
Yep.
What even is a skillet?
It's like a pan.
Oh.
Like an iron pan, or like it's a skillet.
That's what they're fighting for.
Yes.
All right.
And then the other one now used to be played at the end of the season, but it's Oregon State at Oregon. They used to call this game Civil War. They don't call it that anymore, but I still like to call it that. But they do play for the Platypus Trophy. You know what a platypus is?
Yes, it's like a weird creature that lives in
it's a real creature, but it's like half duck and half beaver.
Yes, it's really weird.
It's a platypus. And then we have Tulane at Ole Miss.
Oh yeah.
These games are just close proximity. This kind of like an old school rivalry game. Purdue at Notre Dame. Both these schools are some of the oldest schools in the country. Yes. They played for the Shillelagh Trophy. Yeah.
Bro, what are these trophies, bro?
I'm telling you, you got to look it up. Yeah. As we mentioned, Florida at Miami. They play for the Seminole War Canoe. So they actually play for a real canoe from the Seminole tribe, from the Seminole War tribe. Yeah.
Shouldn't that be like if they play Florida State since it's
I thought
Seminoles?
The same thing, but I double-checked it. That's what they play for, the Seminole War Canoe.
That's weird.
And then we have the last one, another big one, used to be played at the end of the year, is Washington is playing at Washington State for the Apple Cup. Big game up there in Washington.
The only other one is Tulsa, Oklahoma State, but that's not really like a big rivalry. But it's two Oklahoma teams.
Yes, that's very true because they're not in the same conference, but they're both in Oklahoma. So there's a proximity. They're close campuses and everything. So yes, Tulsa, Oklahoma State. All right, let's move on to our cover straight dog. Brody, do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Brody's going to go first. Okay, let's go for it.
For my cover pick, I have SMU +7 at TCU. I haven't been the most impressed with TCU so far, and I've liked SMU. They beat some team week 1. Mm-hmm. They should have beat Baylor. And I just think they look good. They have looked good, and I think it's not really it's not too far of a travel. It's not really a away game.
It's a bus ride.
Yeah. And I just think that SMU is a better team. I think they either lose by a field goal or they win this game, so I have them +7 at TCU.
I thought about this game too, and it's a rivalry game. It's a big-time rivalry game.
Yeah.
They're playing for an Iron Skillet. I mean, who doesn't get excited for that? But TCU did beat the crap out of North Carolina. Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Beat the crap out of them.
But is that just North Carolina's that bad?
Yeah, I know, but SMU was really good last year. I don't know if they're as good as they were last year, but TCU, they are at home, so they do get a little advantage.
Yeah.
But there should be a pretty good, it's not going to be a 50-50 crowd.
It should be close.
But it's going to be more 60-40, something like that. You definitely will see a lot of SMU people there. So this was kind of one of the ones, but it just didn't quite make my top list here.
Yeah.
All right, my cover pick. This game's actually tomorrow night, Friday night.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, it is going to be Iowa -2.5 at Rutgers.
That's your cover pick?
That's my cover pick. Iowa's going to win this game by 3 or more. Now, this game might be 3-0.
Both offenses are absolutely terrible.
Exactly.
I recommend you not watch this game unless you love defense.
Yes, exactly. So this game, I'm predicting this game's going to be 3-0. Iowa wins, covers the spread -2.5. and I'll take my victory and go on to next week.
I've just heard a lot of everyone is kind of picking Rutgers to at least cover the spread and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I had that one on my list, but I didn't want to pick it just because everyone has Rutgers like winning the game because Iowa's offense is so bad this year.
Well, Iowa's offense is bad every year.
Yes, but like this year,
but they
terrible.
always end up in the Big Ten championship game, or they're like second place. They always win 10 games. Rutgers is rebuilding, but I don't think this is the year for them yet. Now, Rutgers is at home. They have their old coach, Greg Schiano. That was the last time Rutgers was relevant, when they had Ray Rice as their running back and everything. But I think it's not their time. Iowa's still going to go in there. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but Iowa is going to get some sort of turnovers on defense. Game's going to be 3-0 or 6-3. Iowa wins.
Something like that.
Yep.
Is it straight or dog next?
We're doing straight. Cover straight dog. So what's your straight-up pick, Brody?
My straight-up pick is I have Michigan beating Nebraska. Michigan...
Oh, yeah, Michigan beating Nebraska.
Yes, I have Michigan beating Nebraska.
Uh-huh.
I like Bryce Underwood. I think the Michigan team's way better than Nebraska's team.
Yeah.
I think Dylan Raiola is overrated. I don't think this Nebraska team's that good this year. They're always hyped every single year, and then they go 6-6. And this Michigan team's defense is really good, and I don't think Dylan Raiola and Nebraska are going to be able to beat Michigan. I just think Michigan's going to out-physical them in every aspect of the game.
Now, let me ask you a critical question. Does your friend Wyatt listen to the podcast? Because he is like one of the biggest Nebraska fans.
Yes. I don't know, but if he did, he would be mad at me right now.
Yeah, no, this is another game that I considered because Nebraska is at home, and I don't think Michigan is as good as they have been years prior.
I think they're better than last year, though.
Yeah, maybe better than last year, but that was when they lost all their national championship people.
Yeah,
coming off last year.
They had some no one quarterback.
But the thing is every once in a while, there's like one of these games like this, and I'm like, I'm going to bet Nebraska. I'm going to do it. And they always let me down.
Yeah,
so that's what I was like, I'm not going to do it. This is that game where I'm going to bet them, and like, yeah, they're going to come up big. They're going to win this game, and now they shut the bed. And I'm like, I'm not following that again. That's happened like 5 years in a row.
Yes.
So I left this one off my list.
Nebraska only beats like weaker opponents. They can't beat better opponents.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my straight pick is I'm taking Kansas, which they're playing West Virginia. I believe West Virginia is going on the road to Kansas, so I will take Kansas. Now, West Virginia is coming off a big overtime win against Pitt in the backyard brawl. Eat shit, Pitt. Remember that?
I watched their YouTube video that you sent me about that.
Yeah, that's what they sing, right? They sing it, right?
Yeah, they did sing it.
And but I think just because West Virginia, they got so up and so hyped for that game against Pitt, they were like 0-2 already. Now they're 1-2. That was like their Super Bowl. So coming off their big Super Bowl win of the season, I think they're tired. They spent a lot of energy in the game before. Now they're going on the road to Kansas. Kansas is a pretty good team. I think Kansas straight up wins this one pretty easy.
Yes, I agree with you.
All right. What is your dog pick, Brody?
My dog pick is number 17, Texas Tech, beating +3 at Utah. I just think Texas Tech Utah's offense has looked like not as good as people thought against Wyoming, and I know Texas Tech's not good on the road, but I don't know why. I just think this Utah team's overhyped. This is the exact same thing as last year. Utah is ranked in the top 25, and then once they start Big 12 play, then they look terrible. So I just think Texas Tech is a better team, and they're just going to out-physical them. And I think our offense is just going to be more consistent than their offense.
Yeah, I think it's like the running back for Utah. He's been having a pretty good year. Now it seems like I can't remember who they played last week.
Wyoming.
They played Wyoming,
and they like barely won.
Well, it was like 3-0 at halftime.
Uh-huh.
They were like barely winning, and it was like, but they ended up pulling away.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a close game still at halftime and everything. So, I'm down for this pick because Texas Tech.
It's just Utah has 2 round 1 offensive tackles, and they have a really good O-line. So that's why everyone loves Utah, because their O-line's so good, and Devin Damper is like Lamar Jackson kind of.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
All right, my dog pick is Texas Tech.
I know.
+3 at Utah.
Texas Tech's not losing this.
All right, so let's break this down a little bit more. Texas Tech's going up to Salt Lake. Okay, Now, I know it's a tough place to play, but it's like Rice Ellis Stadium, whatever it is. Utah loves their team, right?
Yeah, Utah's.
Brody's orthodontist is from Utah, loved his Utah Utes.
Yes.
Like, he was just like crazy for his Utah Utes and everything. But the thing is that Texas Tech is going there. They've been at home 3 weeks in a row. So they should be well rested. They whooped the crap out of everybody they played all 3 weeks, and they were all at home. Now they got to go on the road. First road game. It is going to be road, but it's early in the season still, right? It's not super cold weather up there.
Nah.
It's probably going to be nice weather up there in Salt Lake City at this time.
Like 70 degrees, maybe.
Exactly. So it's going to be nice weather for them. And Mr. Baron Morton, Joey McGuire, all of our NIL money players, all the money we spent on the D-line, it is now time for you to put up or shut up. This is what we spent all that money on. This is why Baron Morton has been the starting quarterback for like the last 2 or 3 years. Joey McGuire, 3rd year as head coach. It is time. It is time to win these road games and make a statement and become a Big 12 powerhouse like we should be.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it looks worse if Texas Tech loses this game more than if Utah loses this game.
Yeah.
I think it looks way worse because Texas Tech spent all this money, and they finally play an actual contender. And if they lose this game, or especially get blown out, it looks so bad on Joey McGuire and the whole college.
Yeah, and I remember it was 2 years ago. We were kind of in the same situation. We went to Virginia or Ole Miss or something like that with Tyler Shuck, right? Or maybe it was Oregon. We went to Oregon.
Oregon came to us. And we almost beat them, but we lost.
But Tyler Shuck threw an interception right at the last minute of the game, and Oregon got the ball and went down and scored and won the game. It was like, stupid Tyler Shuck. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is Joey McGuire, the head coach, has struggled to win road games, but all the money they spent specifically on the defensive line to counter Utah's offensive line, I think people have just been I heard a lot of experts are picking Utah for this game because of the O-line specifically.
Yes, the O-line's really good. I'm just going to say
that. But I think people have just sort of glossed over Texas Tech because they haven't really played anybody.
Yeah.
But they destroyed all of them.
Yes.
You know? So, I don't know. I'm put money Texas Tech. That's my dog. Not even just to cover the spread, to win this game outright.
The only thing that scares me is I know Texas Tech is better, but last year, our first away game, we went to Washington State and we got cooked by Washington State.
Yep. We also lost that one the year before that. We went to Wyoming and lost.
So this game kind of scares me because Texas Tech, early in the year, they do kind of lose these away games.
Yeah.
But this year, our team is just that much better. I just think that we're going to win this game. I don't know what to say. It's just, I just think we're going to win.
Yeah. The only thing is, I'm thinking, even last week against Oregon State, that's a clear look-ahead spot that Texas Tech could have easily been looking ahead to a Utah game, and they still beat the crap out of Oregon State. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was embarrassing for Oregon State.
And Oregon State, everyone's saying, Oregon State's not they're not that bad of a team. They have a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Texas Tech just whooped the floor off of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Oregon State, but they got absolutely destroyed by Texas Tech.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I love that last pick, Brody. Now let's move on to the NFL Week 3. But let's recap Week 2 very quickly. All right. So the one thing I wanted to talk about, and this kind of factors into my picks this week, is that after Week 2 is actually a really big deal in the NFL because teams starting the season 0-2 have traditionally have about a 10 to 11.5% chance of making the playoffs. So that would be 1 out of 8 teams.
So the Chiefs.
Yes.
The Chiefs are 0-2.
Exactly. So, and then teams that are 0-3 have about a 2.5% chance of making the playoffs, right? Statistically. Okay. Yeah. So, some of our 0-2 teams are the New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns, Houston Texans, the Tennessee Titans, New York Giants, Chicago Bears, the Carolina Panthers, and the New Orleans Saints. Now, again, out of that list of teams, I think that's 10 teams I listed, and 1 out of 8 teams that have gone 0-2 are going to make the playoffs, or will make the playoffs. To me, there's only 2 teams on this list that actually have a legitimate chance: Kansas City Chiefs and Houston Texans.
Yes, those are my 2 as well.
So these other teams, if they go 0-3, their season's done. Giants lose to the Chiefs. their head coach getting fired. The Bears, Panthers, and Saints all have like new coaches. They all are kind of like shitty teams. Dolphins are falling apart. He'll be the next coach to get fired.
Definitely.
And then New York Jets, they're rebuilding. Brand new coach this year, Aaron Glenn, all that stuff. So Texans and Chiefs are the only teams really I think they have that are really, really desperate. I mean, all of these teams are desperate to get a win. And most teams do who are 0-2 or who have not won a game. Usually they're a very good bet because they will cover spreads. They are playing hard. There is extra motivation for them to get that win and to salvage their season. They don't want to be playing, games that don't matter by October,
Yes.
Huh. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So the next thing I also want to talk about were the refs this last week.
The refs are terrible.
The refs were very, very bad. Now, typically, in my opinion, I think that the refs are very, very strict. They're the most strict in the preseason because it seems like they're trying to set a standard for all the players.
Mm-hmm.
And then even the first couple weeks, they're still pretty strict. But as the season goes on, they get less and less strict. And by the time it's like Super Bowl time, they're not even like barely calling penalties.
Barely.
But this last week, it was absolutely ridiculous. The QB protection, rules and penalties is out of control. I've always been this way. I hate the QB protection rules. As a quarterback, if you slide late, to me, that's on you.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't want to get hit in the head, then you slide a little bit earlier. If you're going and you're trying to get that first down and you slide at the last second to try to get a first down and the guy, is not sure if you're going to slide or dive and he hits you, that's on you, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, if you didn't want that, you slide earlier. Run out of bounds, all right? Now, when I was a kid, Brody, you don't see this anymore really that much, but one of the coolest plays during the game was when that defensive end would come off the edge, right? And just put his helmet right in the back of a quarterback who never saw him coming. Just a blind side blast. And you see the quarterback's head like goes back and he's like, oh, and they like show slow motion. He's like, oh,
Yo.
It was like the coolest play to see that quarterback just get absolutely demolished on a blind side sack,
Yeah.
But again, you can't really hit the quarterback that hard anymore. And that is the reason why the left tackle is so important.
Yes.
And that's why they always put they always put it on the quarterback's blind side. So that stuff doesn't happen. So it happens less now than it used to. And defensive ends are so scared of blasting the quarterback that you don't really see that play anymore. But it used to be so cool back in the day. Now, there were a couple of really terrible plays or penalties. Now, the Eagles, right, in their tush push, their guards were clearly jumping early. Were going before the snap. Never got called. The Chiefs, it happened like three times. The Chiefs definitely had a legitimate gripe because the Eagles were, false starting or whatever.
They were jumping off sides, but their helmet was like across the ball.
They were in the neutral. They were in the neutral zone, and they were going early
every single time.
Yes,
bro, that play should get banned, bro. I'm just saying it, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, that play should get banned, bro.
Well, like you can't allow them to do that.
Yes,
it's a penalty. And then there was the Josh Sweat play.
Bro, that almost cost us the game
in the Cardinals game. Now, again, this is like he sacks the quarterback, and now as a defensive lineman, if you sack, you can only hit him like basically around the waist, or like like in the numbers to their waist. If you go to the knees or you go to their head, it's a penalty. Even if you go to like their shoulders, they're going to call it. So Josh Sweat makes this perfect sack on whoever they were playing,
Bryce Young, the Panthers.
Bryce Young, and you're not allowed to just like fall on him. You have to like brace yourself so you don't put all your weight down on him, which he did.
Yeah.
They called a penalty on him for that.
And as Bryce Young was like throwing the ball, Joshua was already like taking him to the ground. It wasn't like a late hit. Like
no.
It was like the most normal tackle, and they called a flag on it. Like what?
Yes, absolutely ridiculous. And the other one I remember seeing was the Travis Hunter pass interference.
Oh yeah,
they called pass interference on him. It was no way. If that was like week 12 or later in the season, no way that's pass interference. They call pass interference on that, but I remember the Saints-Rams game when the Rams guy in the playoffs just ran over the Saints player. They didn't call pass interference on that, but they're going to call it on Travis Hunter on this one. Like, absolutely ridiculous. So, I don't know. The NFL's got to get this cleaned up. I understand that, the players are trying to get every little advantage, so they do commit penalties. They said there's holding on every play. I'm sure there is. I wish there wasn't, but the refs got to get a little bit better on this. And again, I remember last year you had what was it, Rashee Rice for the Chiefs.
Oh yeah,
got called for lining up wrong. I still see it all the time. They're these NFL teams do not line up right, and it never gets called.
Yeah, it never gets called. It's so bad, bro.
Any other thoughts on that, Brody?
Not really. There's just the refs. I don't know. Just need to get better, I guess.
They got to get better. Yep, that's for sure. All right, let's move on to our cover straight dog. And Brody, go first with your cover.
My cover is I have the Chargers covering the spread -3 versus the Broncos.
Oh, you're just going against White all over the place. He's gonna want to fight you.
The Chargers are at home, and watching the Chargers, we watched the Chargers-Chiefs game together.
Yeah,
and we watched the Chargers-Raiders game. The Chargers just look like they know what they're doing, and the Chargers look good this year. And the Broncos are the opposite. The Broncos are, once again, like Nebraska, are hyped every year and then are not that good. Bo Nix is not as good as people say. They barely beat the Titans, and they lost to Daniel Jones and the Colts.
Yeah.
The Broncos are not that good, and they have to go to L.A., and the Chargers, I just think, are way better than the Broncos. And the Broncos do always do well against the Chargers, but this year, I just think the Chargers are just that much better than the Broncos.
Yeah, I was high on the Chargers coming into the season, and really the main reason was is they have a quarterback. They have Justin Herbert. As long as he's healthy, they have a chance.
As long as the Chargers have number 44 on the field, they're going to win.
Yeah, exactly. That's Brody's doppelganger, number 44, the fullback for the Chargers. But this is year number 2 for Jim Harbaugh, and Jim Harbaugh turns teams around very, very quickly.
He does.
Now, once he gets them turned around, then he loses control of his team, and he goes a little crazy, and he has to move on and go somewhere else and rebuild a team.
Yeah.
But he's very good at rebuilding. That was like Bill Parcells' thing. That he could rebuild a team very, very quickly.
Yeah. And
that's Jim Harbaugh, whether it's Stanford, Michigan, the 49ers, and now the Chargers. He rebuilds them and gets them to be a winning team, and I like the Chargers this year.
Yes, the Chargers are good this year.
Exactly. All right. My cover pick is the Houston Texans +1.5 at Jacksonville. Now, if this game was in Houston, the Texans would be favored by 2.5. But again, I told you, Brody, these 0-2 teams are desperate to get a win. Texans 0-2, Jags are 1-1, and I did hear a stat on a podcast I listened to the other day that the Texans are 9-1 versus the Jaguars straight up in their last 10 meetings. So they own the Jaguars. They're desperate for a win. They're not that bad of a team, and they don't want to go 0-3 and then have to play. Then we're really, really panicking.
Yes.
They would really like to go 1-2, even this thing up with the Jags, and have the little tiebreaker against the Jags because they beat them. So I'm going to take Houston Texans +1.5. They're probably going to win this game, but hopefully it's within 1 point.
Yeah, I like that pick.
All right, Brody, what's your straight pick?
My straight pick is I have the Ravens beating the Lions at home. The Lions have to go to Baltimore. The Ravens, I think the Ravens have looked better than the Lions. The Ravens have already played the Bills, and they looked a lot better, but they lost that game at the end. And the Lions are kind of like the Bills, not the same skill level, but I don't think the Ravens are going to lose this game. Also, I was talking to you earlier, I don't think any NFC team besides the Eagles can compete with the Bills or Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to stick with my statement. So I have the Ravens winning a close game at home versus the Lions. That's my straight pick.
The thing about the Lions, or not the Lions, the Ravens, is they kind of seem to play at the level of competition that they're playing.
Yes.
So if they're playing like a crappy team, they kind of play crappy. But if they're playing the Bills or they're playing someone good, that they play with them. They can beat them. They got a chance to win and all this stuff. So they just maybe that's a John Harbaugh problem. Maybe that's just kind of how it is. But again, the Ravens should win every game.
Yes.
But they kind of get in their own way sometimes. I don't know. You know?
Yeah. They should be 2-0, but they lost to the Bills.
Yeah. All right. My straight pick is the Chiefs at the New York Giants. Now, Chiefs are going on the road, but again, Chiefs are 0-2. They don't want to go 0-3. And the other thing is no way the NFL is going to allow the Kansas City Chiefs, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes to go 0-3 in this game. Now, I'm just warning you now, Brody. The refs are going to make some bad calls in this game, and they're going to go the Chiefs' way. There's 100% guaranteed on this one.
Wow.
All right? People are going to be crying after this game about the penalties on the Giants. So, but again, no way the NFL is going to allow the Chiefs to lose this game, even though they're on the road. And both these teams are 0-2. But again, no way they're going to let Taylor Swift go 0-3.
No way.
Not even have a chance to make the playoffs.
Definitely not.
Exactly. So I will take the Chiefs straight up against the New York Giants.
I like that pick.
All right, Brody, what's your dog pick?
My dog pick is, like you were saying, I have the Texans +1 at the Jaguars. So I have the Texans winning this game.
Yeah.
I just think, like you said when I was picking this game, the Texans are 0-2. I just told myself there's no way the Texans are going to go 0-3. There's no way C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins and that good Texans team is going to go 0-3. They're going to win this game, and they're going to win this game by a lot, I feel like.
And they had a good chance to win the game last week against the Buccaneers.
Yes.
Right? But just Baker Mayfield went crazy at the end there. And the thing was that the Buccaneers let the Texans score a touchdown to take the lead because the Texans could have just ran the clock out and kicked a field goal or maybe got a touchdown right at the end. But they let them score early to give them like 2 minutes left. And then Baker went down and they scored a touchdown.
Baker's really good in those 2 minutes.
Exactly. So they didn't screw themselves. Like you always will kind of take that and just, okay, now the defense got to go win it for us. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So the Texans, I don't think they're a bad team. Yeah. I think the Bucs are good.
Yeah, the Texans, I forgot who they played week 1, but they played 2 good teams and they barely lost. So I don't think it's just that. I don't think it's just that the Texans are bad. They just played 2 good teams and just barely lost those games.
Again, motivation is going to be at a high for the Houston Texans.
They are not going to go 0-3.
Yep. All right. Again, I like that pick, all for the same reasons. All right, my dog pick is the New York Jets +7. I just praised the Tampa Bay Bucs, but that's who they're playing. The Jets at Tampa Bay. The Jets are 0-2. The Bucs are 2-0, but the Bucs are beat up.
Yes.
All right. Everyone's talking about how the Buccaneers O-line is in shambles right now. They lost one of their tackles before the season started. Their best, or Tristan Wirfs.
Oh, Tristan Wirfs got injured?
He's been injured before. He hasn't played yet.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he got hurt in the He's almost back, but I don't think he'll be back till next week or the week after. And then they lost their other tackle, and they lost the guard. So their O-line is just in shambles right now. And then even Baker, on that last, in the fourth quarter there, he was hobbling around because he was scrambling and all that stuff. So he's going to be a little sore. And they're 2-0. So I think it is their first, it's like their home opener or something like that. But again, Jets to cover +7. I can definitely see that. I think it's going to be a close game. Mm-hmm. But Jets are 0-2, Bucs 2-0, motivation game. So I will take the Jets.
My only thing is, my only thing is Justin Fields back, or is he not playing in this game?
I don't think he will be back. No, it is going to be Tyrod Taylor.
That's what kind of held me back. I think if the Jets had Justin Fields, I would agree with you, but I don't think. Even though the Buccaneers are injured and stuff, I just think the Buccaneers are just better than the Jets.
I think Tyrod Taylor, he's a game manager. He's a veteran quarterback. He's been around, and they got Breece Hall. So if they can kind of control the time of possession in the game and not turn the ball over, I think they got a chance.
That would be nice because Breece Hall's on my fantasy team.
Yeah. All right. That was a good episode, Brody.
It was?
I did a lot of talking in that one.
You did.
Yeah. But thanks again for listening. And just a reminder that I went 0-3 in my NFL picks last week.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get any of my NFL picks right, but I went 2 for 3, I think, in my college football ones. So Brody didn't do well in his college football, but did better than me in NFL.
I went 3-0 in NFL and 1-2 in college.
Yeah. Okay, so hopefully I have a better week this week. Oh, and I did BTA Brody in fantasy football. I just want to point that out to everybody.
Because his kicker had more points than half his team. No.
That's not my fault.
His kicker had the second most points on his team, and he somehow had like 160 points. Like, how is that even possible?
Because everyone did well. Everyone did well on my team.
You had like 2 players who had 0 points. How does your kicker have the second most? How does your kicker have 20 points? How is that even possible?
He was the Cowboys kicker, Brandon Aubrey or whatever. He kicks He kicked 70-yarders for practice. Okay,
bro, but like still,
he kicked 70-yard field goals for breakfast.
A kicker should not have 20 points. That's crazy, bro.
All right, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week. On My Name is Dad. Say bye, Brody.
Bye.